Book 7, Chapter 1. How Beaumains came to King Arthur's court, and demanded 3 petitions of King Arthur. When Arthur held his round table most plena, it fortuned that he commanded that the high feast of Pentecost should be holden at a city and a castle, the which in those days was called Kenedon, upon the sands that marched nigh Wales. So ever the king had a custom that at the feast of Pentecost in especial, or for other feasts in the year, he would not go that day to meat until he had heard or seen of a great marvel. And for that custom all manner of strange adventures came before Arthur, as at that feast before all other feasts. And so Sir Gawain, a little to forenoon of the day of Pentecost, espied at a window 3 men upon horseback, and a dwarf on foot. And so the 3 men alighted, and the dwarf kept their horses, and one of the 3 men was higher than the other twain by a foot and an half. Then Sir Gawain went unto the king and said, So, go to your meat, for here at the hand come strange adventures. So Arthur went unto his meat with many other kings. And there were all the knights of the Round Table, only those that were prisoners or slain at a recounter. Then at the high feast evermore they should be fulfilled the whole number of 150, for then was the Round Table fully compellished. Right so came into the whole 2 men well beseen and richly, and upon their shoulders there leaned the goodliest young man and the fairest that ever they all saw, and he was large and long, and broad in the shoulders, and well visaged, and the fairest and the largest handed that ever man saw, but he fared as though he might not go nor bear himself, but if he leaned upon their shoulders. Anon as Arthur saw him there was made peace and room, and right so they yet with him unto the high dais, without saying of any words. Then this much young man pulled him aback, and easily stretched up straight, saying, King Arthur, God you bless in all your fair fellowship, and in especial the fellowship of the Table Round. And for this cause I am come hither, to pray you and require you to give me 3 gifts, and they shall not be unreasonably asked, but that ye may worshipfully and honourably grant them me, and to you no great hurt nor loss. And the first dawning gift I will ask now, and the other 2 gifts I will ask this day 12-mount, wheresoever ye hold your high feast. Now ask, said Arthur, and ye shall have your asking. Now, sir, this is my petition for this feast, that ye will give me meat and drink sufficiently for this 12-mount, and at that day I will ask mine other 2 gifts. My fair son, said Arthur, ask better, I counsel thee, for this is but a simple asking. For my heart giveth me to thee greatly, that thou art come of men of worship, and greatly my conceit faileth me, but thou shalt prove a man of right great worship. So, he said, thereof be as it be may, I have asked that I will ask. Well, said the king, ye shall have meat and drink enough. I never defended that none, neither my friend nor my foe. But what is thy name, I would wit? I cannot tell you, said he. That is marvel, said the king, that thou knowest not thy name, and thou art the goodliest young man that ever I saw. Then the king betook him to Sir Kay the steward, and charged him that he should give him of all manner of meats and drinks of the best, and also that he had all manner of finding as though he were a lord's son. That shall little need, said Sir Kay, to do such cuss upon him. For I dare undertake he is a villain born, and never will make man. For when he had come of gentlemen he would have asked of you horse and armour, but such as he is, so he asketh. And sit hen he hath no name. I shall get him a name that shall be Beaumains, that is fair hands, and into the kitchen I shall bring him, and they shall have fat brose every day, that he shall be as fat by the 12-month's end as a poor cog. Right so the 2 men departed and beleft him to Sir Kay, that scorned him and mocked him. Chapter 2. How Sir Lancelot and Sir Gawain were wroth because Sir Kay mocked Beaumains, and of a damosel which desired a knight to fight for a lady. Thereat was Sir Gawain wroth. And in especial Sir Lancelot bade Sir Kay leave his mocking, for I dare lay my head he shall prove a man of great worship. Let be said, Sir Kay, it may not be by no reason, for as he is, so he hath asked. Beware, said Sir Lancelot. So ye gave the good knight Bruno, Sir Dinadan's brother, a name, and ye called him La Cote Male Tail, and that turned you to anger afterward. As for that, said Sir Kay, there shall never prove none such. For Sir Bruno desired ever worship, and his desireth bread and drink and broth. Upon pain of my life he was fostered up in some abbey, and, howsomever it was, they failed meat and drink, and so hither he is come for his sustenance. And so Sir Kay bade get him a place, and sit down to meat. So Beaumains went to the hall door, and set him down among boys and lads, and there he ate sadly. And then Sir Lancelot after meat bade him come to his chamber, and there he should have meat and drink enough. And so did Sir Gawain. But he refused them all. He would do none other but as Sir Kay commanded him, for no proffer. But as touching Sir Gawain, he had reason to proffer him lodging, meat, and drink, for that proffer came of his blood, for he was nearer kin to him than he wist. But that as Sir Lancelot did was of his great gentleness and courtesy. So thus he was put into the kitchen, and lay nightly as the boys of the kitchen did. And so he endured all that 12-month, and never displeased man nor child, but always he was meek and mild. But ever when that he saw any jousting of knights, that would he see an he might. And ever Sir Lancelot would give him gold to spend, and clothes, and so did Sir Gawain. And where there were any masteries done, thereat would he be, and there might none cast bar nor stone to him by 2 yards. Then would Sir Kay say, How liketh ye my boy of the kitchen? So it passed until the feast of Whitsuntide. And at that time the king held at Carlisle in the most royalist wise that might be, like as he did yearly. But the king would no meat eat upon the Whitsunday, until he heard some adventures. Then came there a squire to the king and said, Sir, ye may go to your meat, for here cometh a damosel with some strange adventures. Then was the king glad, and set him down. Right so there came a damosel into the hall, and saluted the king, and prayed him of succour. For whom, said the king, What is the adventure? Sir, she said, I have a lady of great worship and renown, and she is besieged with a tyrant, so that she may not out of her castle. And because here are called the noblest knights of the world, I come to you to pray you of succour. What hight your lady, and where dwelleth she? And who is she, and what is his name that hath besieged her? Sir King, she said, as for my lady's name, that shall not ye know from me as at this time, but I let you which she is a lady of great worship and of great lands. And as for the tyrant that besiegeth her and destroyeth her lands, he is called the Red Knight of the Red Lawns. I know him not, said the king. Sir, said Sir Gawain, I know him well, for he is one of the perilous knights of the world. Men say that he has 7 men's strength, and from him I escaped once full hard with my life. Fair damosel, said the king, there be knights here would do their power for to rescue your lady, but because you will not tell her name, nor where she dwelleth, therefore none of my knights that here be now shall go with you by my will. Then must I speak further, said the damosel. Chapter 3. How Beaumains desired the battle, and how it was granted to him, and how he desired to be made knight of Sir Lancelot. With these words came before the king Beaumains, while the damosel was there. And thus he said, Sir King, God thank you. I have been this 12-month in your kitchen, and have had my full sustenance, and now I will ask my 2 gifts that be behind. Ask, upon my peril, said the king. Sir, this shall be my 2 gifts. First, that you will grant me to have this adventure of the damosel, for it belongeth unto me. Thou shalt have it, said the king, I grant it thee. Then, sir, this is the other gift, that ye shall bid Lancelot do late to make me knight. For him I will be made knight, and else of none. And when I am past, I pray you let him ride after me, and make me knight when I require him. All this shall be done, said the king. Fie on thee, said the damosel. Shall I have none but one that is your kitchen page? Then was she wroth, and took her horse and departed. And with that there came one to Beaumains, and told him his horse and armour was come for him, and there was a dwarf come with all thing that him needed, in the richest manner. Thereat all the court had much marvel from whence came all that gear. So when he was armed there was none but few so goodly a man as he was. And right so as he came into the hall, and took his leave of King Arthur, and Sir Gawain, and Sir Lancelot, and prayed that he would hie after him, and so departed and rode after the damosel. Chapter 4. How Beaumains departed, and how he gat of Sir Kay a spear and a shield, and how he jousted with Sir Lancelot. But there went many out for to behold how well he was horsed and trapped in cloth of gold, but he had neither shield nor spear. Then Sir Kay said all open in the hall, I will ride after my boy in the kitchen, to wit whether he will know me for his better. Said Sir Lancelot and Sir Gawain, Yet abide at home. So Sir Kay made him ready, and took his horse and his spear, and rode after him. And right as Beaumains overtook the damosel, right so came Sir Kay and said, Beaumains, what, sir, know ye not me? Then he turned his horse, and knew it was Sir Kay, that had done him all the despite as ye have heard afore. Yea, said Beaumains, I know you for an ungentle knight of the court, and therefore beware of me. Therewith Sir Kay put his spear in the rest, and ran straight upon him. And Beaumains came as fast upon him with his sword in his hand, and so he put away his spear with his sword, and with a foin thrust him through the side, that Sir Kay fell down as he had been dead. And he alighted down and took Sir Kay's shield and his spear, and stirred upon his own horse and rode his way. All that saw Sir Lancelot, and so did the damosel. And then he bade his dwarf stir upon Sir Kay's horse, and so he did, by that Sir Lancelot would come. Then he proffered Sir Lancelot to joust, and either made them ready. And they came together so fiercely that either bare down other to the earth, and sore were they bruised. Then Sir Lancelot arose and helped him from his horse. And then Beaumains drew his shield from him, and proffered a fight with Sir Lancelot on foot. And so they rushed together like bulls, tracing, raising, and foining to the mountenance of an hour. And Sir Lancelot felt him so big that he marvelled of his strength, for he fought more like a giant than a knight, and that his fighting was durable and passing perilous. For Sir Lancelot had so much ado with him that he dreaded himself to be shamed, and said, Beaumains, fight not so sore. Your quarrel and mine is not so great, but we may leave off. Truly that is truth, said Beaumains, but it doth me good to feel your might. And yet, my lord, I showed not the utterance. Chapter 5. How Beaumains told to Sir Lancelot his name, and how he was dubbed Knight of Sir Lancelot, and after overtook the damosel. Ow, sir, said Sir Lancelot, I am more glad of you than I was, for ever methought ye should be of great blood, and that ye came not to the court neither for meat nor for drink. And then Sir Lancelot gave him the order of knighthood, and then Sir Gareth prayed him for to depart and let him go. So Sir Lancelot departed from him and came to Sir Kay, and made him to be borne home upon his shield. And so he was healed hard with the life, and all men scorned Sir Kay. And in especial Sir Gawain and Sir Lancelot said it was not his part to rebuke no young man, for full little knew he of what birth he is come, and for what cause he came to this court. And so we leave Sir Kay, and turn we unto Beaumains. Then the knight was ashamed of the words, and took him up, and set him at a sideboard, and set himself afore him. And so all that night they had good cheer and merry rest. And on the morn the damosel and he took their leave and thanked the knight, and so departed, and rode on their way until they came to a great forest. And there was a great river and but one passage, and there were ready 2 knights on the farther side to let them the passage. What sayest thou? Said the Damos, wilt thou match yonder knights, or turn again? Nay, said Sir Beaumains, I will not turn again. And they were 6 more. And therewithal he rushed into the water, and in midst of the water either brake their spears upon other to their hands, and then they drew their swords, and smote eagerly at other. And at the last Sir Beaumains smote the other upon the helm, that his head stonied, and therewithal he fell down in the water, and there was he drowned. And then he spurred his horse upon the land, where the other knight fell upon him, and brake his spear, and so they drew their swords, and fought long together. At the last Sir Beaumains clave his helm and his head down to the shoulders, and so he rode unto the damosel, and bade her ride forth on her way. Alas, she said, that ever a kitchen page should have that fortune to destroy such 2 doughty knights. Thou weenest thou hast done doughtily. That is not so, for the first night his horse stumbled, and there he was drowned in the water, and never it was by thy force, nor by thy might. And the last night by mishap thou camest behind him, and mishap-pilely thou slew him. Damosel, said Beaumains, ye may say what ye will, but with whomsoever I have ado withal, I trust to God to serve him or he depart. And therefore I reck not what ye say, so that I may win your lady. Fie, fie, foul kitchen knave, thou shalt see knights that shall abate thy boast. Fair Damos, give me goodly language, and then my care is past, for what knights some they be, I care not, nor I doubt them not. Also, said she, I say for thine avail, yet mayest thou turn again with thy worship. For when thou follow me, thou art but slain, for I see all that ever thou dost is but by misadventure, and not by prowess of thy hands. Well, Damos, ye may say what ye will, but wheresoever ye go I will follow you. That may be, said the Black Knight, Howbeit, as ye say that he be no man of worship, he is a full likely person, and full like to be a strong man. But thus much shall I grant you, said the Black Knight, I shall put him down upon one foot, and his horse and his harness he shall leave with me, for it was shame to me to do him any more harm. When Sir Beaumains heard him say thus, he said, Sir Knight, thou art full large of my horse and my harness. I let thee with it cost thee naught, and whether it liketh thee or not, this lawn will I pass maugre thine head. And horse nor harness gettest thou none of mine, but if thou win them with thy hands, and therefore let's see what thou canst do. Sayest thou that? Said the Black Knight, Now yield thy lady from thee, for it beseemeth never kitchen page to ride with such a lady. Thou liest, said Beaumains, I am a gentleman born, and of more high lineage than thou, and that will I prove on thy body. Then in great wrath they departed with their horses, and came together as it had been the thunder, and the Black Knight spear brake, and Beaumains thrust him through both his sides, and therewith his spear brake, and the truncheon left still in his side. But nevertheless the Black Knight drew his sword, and smote many eager strokes, and of great might, and hurt Beaumains full sore. But at the last the Black Knight, within an hour and a half, he fell down off his horse in swoon, and there he died. And when Beaumains saw him so well horsed and armed, then he alighted down and armed him in his armour, and so took his horse and rode after the damos. When she saw him come nigh, she said, Away, kitchen knave, out of the wind, for the smell of thy bawdy clothes grieveth me. Alas, she said, that ever such a knave should by mishap slay so good a knight as thou hast done, but all this is thine unhappiness. But hereby as one shall pay thee all thy payment, and therefore yet I counsel thee, flee. It may happen me, said Beaumains, to be beaten or slain, but I warn you, fair damosel, I will not flee away, nor leave your company, for all that ye can say. For ever ye say that they will kill me or beat me, but howsomever it happeneth I escape, and they lie on the ground. And therefore it were as good for you to hold you still thus all day rebuking me. For away will I not till I see the uttermost of this journey, or else I will be slain, other truly beaten. Therefore ride on your way, for follow you I will whatsoever happen. Chapter 8. How the brother of the knight that was slain met with Beaumains, and fought with Beaumains till he was yielden. Thus as they rode together, they saw a knight come driving by them all in green, both his horse and his harness. And when he came nigh the damosel, he asked her, Is that my brother the Black Knight that ye have brought with you? Nay, nay, she said, this unhappy kitchen knave has slain your brother through unhappiness. Alas, said the Green Knight, that is great pity, that so noble a knight as he should so unhappily be slain, and namely of a knave's hand, as ye say that he is. Ah, traitor, said the Green Knight, thou shalt die for slaying of my brother. He was a full noble knight, and his name was Sir Parade. I defy thee, said Beaumains, for I let thee what I slew him knightly and not shamefully. Therewithal the Green Knight rode unto an horn that was green, and it hung upon a thorn, and there he blew 3 deadly motes, and there came 2 damosels and armed him lightly. And then he took a great horse, and a green shield and a green spear. And then they ran together with all their mights, and brake their spears unto their hands. And then they drew their swords, and gave many sad strokes, and either of them wounded other full ill. And at the last, at an overthwart, Beaumains with his horse struck the Green Knight's horse upon the side, that he fell to the earth. And then the Green Knight avoided his horse lightly, and dressed him upon foot. That saw Beaumains, and therewithal he alighted, and they rushed together like 2 mighty camps a long while, and so they bled both. With that came the damosel, and said, My lord the Green Knight, why for shame stand ye so long fighting with the kitchen knave? Alas, it is shame that ever ye were made knight, to see such a lad to match such a knight, as the wheat overgrew the corn. Therewith the Green Knight was ashamed, and therewithal he gave a great stroke of might, and clave his shield through. When Beaumains saw his shield cloven asunder, he was a little ashamed of that stroke and of a language, and then he gave him such a buffet upon the helm that he fell on his knees. And so suddenly Beaumains pulled him upon the ground grovelling. And then the Green Knight cried him mercy, and yielded him unto Sir Beaumains, and prayed him to slay him not. All is in vain, said Beaumains, for thou shalt die but if this damosel that came with me pray me to save thy life. And therewithal he unlaced his helm like as he would slay him. Fie upon thee, False kitchen page, I will never pray thee to save his life, for I will never be so much in thy danger. Then shall he die, said Beaumains. Not so hardy, thou bawdy knave, said the damosel, that thou slay him. Alas, said the Green Knight, suffer me not to die, for a fair word may save me. Fair knight, said the Green Knight, save my life, and I will forgive thee the death of my brother, and for ever to become thy man, and 30 knights that hold of me for ever shall do you service. In the devil's name, said the damosel, that such a bawdy kitchen knave should have thee in 30 knights' service. Sir Knight, said Beaumains, all this availeth thee not, but if my damosel speak with me for thy life. And therewithal he made a semblant to slay him. Let be, said the damosel, thou bawdy knave, slay him not, for when thou do thou shalt repent it. Damosel, said Beaumains, your charge is to me a pleasure, and at your commandment his life shall be saved, and else not. Then he said, Sir Knight with the green arms, I release thee quit at this damosel's request, for I will not make her wroth, I will fulfill all that she chargeth me. And then the Green Knight kneeled down, and did him homage with his sword. Then said the damosel, Me repenteth, Green Knight, of your damage, and of your brother's death, the Black Knight, for of your help I had great mister, for I dread me sore to pass this forest. Nay, dread you not, said the Green Knight, for ye shall lodge with me this night, and to morn I shall help you through this forest. So they took their horses and rode to his manor, which was fast there beside. Chapter 9. How the damosel again rebuked Beaumains, and would not suffer him to sit at table, but called him kitchen boy. And ever she rebuked Beaumains, and would not suffer him to sit at table, but as the Green Knight took him and set him at a side table. Marvel methinketh, said the Green Knight to the damosel, why ye rebuke this noble knight as ye do, for I warn you, damosel, he is a full noble knight, and I know no knight is able to match him. Therefore ye do great wrong to rebuke him, for he shall do you right good service. For whatsoever he maketh himself, ye shall prove at the end that he is come of a noble blood and of king's lineage. Fie, fie, said the damosel, it is shame for you to say of him such worship. Truly, said the Green Knight, it was shame for me to say of him any disworship, for he hath proved himself a better knight than I am. Yet have I met with many knights in my days, and never all this time have I found no knight his match. And so that night they yet unto rest. And all that night the Green Knight commanded 30 knights privily to watch Beaumains, for to keep him from all treason. And so on the morn they all arose, and heard their mess and brake their fast. And then they took their horses and rode on their way, and the Green Knight conveyed them through the forest. And there the Green Knight said, My lord Beaumains, I and these 30 knights shall be always at your summons, both early and late, at your calling and whither that ever ye will send us. It is well said, said Beaumains, when that I call upon you, ye must yield you unto King Arthur, and all your knights. If that ye so command us, we shall be ready at all times, said the Green Knight. Fie, fie upon thee, in the devil's name, said the damosel, that any good knight should be obedient unto a kitchen knave. So then departed the Green Knight and the damosel. And then she said unto Beaumains, Why followest thou me, thou kitchen boy? Cast away thy shield and thy spear, and flee away. Yet I counsel thee betimes, or thou shalt say right soon, Alas! For what thou as white as ever was Wade, or Lancelot, Tristram, or the good knights of Lamorak, thou shalt not pass a pass here that is called the Pass Perilous. Damosel, said Beaumains, who is afeard let him flee, for it was shame to turn again sithen I have ridden so long with you. Well, said the damosel, ye shall soon, whether ye will or not. Chapter 10. How the third brother, called the Red Knight, jousted and fought against Beaumains, and how Beaumains overcame him. So within a while they saw a tower as white as any snow, well mechicote all about and double-dyked. And over the tower gate there hung 50 shields of divers colours, and under that tower there was a fair meadow, and therein were many knights and squires to behold, scaffolds and pavilions, for there upon the morn should be a great tournament. And the lord of the tower was in his castle, and looked out at a window, and saw a damosel, a dwarf, and a knight armed at all points. So God me help, said the Lord, with that knight will I joust, for I see that he is a knight errant. And so he armed him and horsed him hastily. And when he was on horseback with his shield and his spear, it was all red, both his horse and his harness, and all that to him longeth. And when that he came nigh him, he weened it had been his brother the Black Knight. And then he cried aloud, Brother, what do ye in these marches? Nay, nay, said the damosel, it is not he. This is but a kitchen knave that was brought up for arms in King Arthur's court. Nevertheless, said the Red Knight, I will speak with him or he depart. Ah, said the damosel, this knave hath killed thy brother, and Sir Kay named him Beaumains, and this horse and this harness was thy brother's, the Black Knight. Also I saw thy brother the Green Knight overcome of his hands. Now may ye be revenged upon him, for I may never be quit of him. With this eye the knights departed in sunder, and they came together with all their might, and either of their horses fell to the earth, and they avoided their horses, and put their shields afore them and drew their swords, and either gave other sad strokes, now here, now there, raising, tracing, foining, and hurling like two boars, the space of 2 hours. And then she cried on high to the Red Knight, Alas, thou noble Red Knight, think what worship hath followed thee. Let never a kitchen knave endure thee so long as he doth. Then the Red Knight waxed wroth and doubled his strokes, and hurt Beaumains wonderly sore, that the blood ran down to the ground, that it was wonder to see that strong battle. Yet at the last Sir Beaumains struck him to the earth, and as he would have slain the Red Knight, he cried mercy, saying, Noble knight, slay me not, and I shall yield me to thee with 50 knights with me that be at my commandment. And I forgive thee all the despite that thou hast done to me, and the death of my brother the Black Knight. All this availeth not, said Beaumains, but if my damosel pray me to save thy life. And therewith he made semblant to strike off his head. Let be, thou Beaumains, slay him not, for he is a noble knight, and not so hardy, upon thine head, but thou save him. Then Beaumains bade the Red Knight, Stand up, and thank the damosel now of thy life. Then the Red Knight prayed him to see his castle, and to be there all night. So the damosel then granted him, and there they had merry cheer. But always the damosel spake many foul words unto Beaumains, whereof the Red Knight had great marvel. And all that night the Red Knight made 60 knights to watch Beaumains, that he should have no shame nor villainy. And upon the morn they heard mass and dined. And the Red Knight came before Beaumains with his 60 knights, and they proffered him his homage and fealty at all times, he and his knights to do him service. I thank you, said Beaumains, but this ye shall grant me, when I call upon you to come afore my lord King Arthur, and yield you unto him to be his knights. Sir, said the Red Knight, I will be ready, and my fellowship at your summons. So Sir Beaumains departed and the damosel, and ever she rode chiding him in the foulest manner. Chapter 11. How Sir Beaumains suffered great rebukes of the damosel, and he suffered it patiently. Damosel, said Beaumains, ye are uncourteous so to rebuke me as ye do, for meseemeth I have done you good service, and ever ye threaten me I shall be beaten with knights that we meet. But ever for all your boasts I lie in the dust or in the mire, and therefore I pray you rebuke me no more. And when ye see me beaten or yielding as recreant, then may ye bid me go from you shamefully. But first I let you what I will not depart from you, for I were worse than a fool, and I would depart from you all, the while that I win worship. Well, said she, right soon there shall meet a knight shall pay thee all thy wages, for he is the most man of worship of the world, except King Arthur. I will well, said Beaumains, the more he is of worship, the more shall be my worship to have ado with him. Then anon they were where was afore them a city rich and fair, and betwixt them and the city 1.5 there was a fair meadow that seemed new mown, and therein were many pavilions fair to behold. Lo, said the damosel, yonder is a lord that owneth yonder city, and his custom is, when the weather is fair, to lie in this meadow to joust and tourney. And ever there be about him 500 knights and gentlemen of arms, and there be all manner of games that any gentleman can devise. That goodly lord, said Beaumains, would I fain see. Thou shalt see him time enough, said the damosel, and so as she rode near she espied the pavilion where he was. Fie, fie, said the damosel, that ever such a stinking knave should blow such a boast. Damosel, he said, ye had a blame so to rebuke me, for I had liefer do 5 battles than so to be rebuked. Let him come, and then let him do his worst. For sithen I am come so nigh this night, I will prove his might, or I depart from him, and else I shall be shamed, and I now withdraw me from him. And therefore, damosel, have ye no doubt by the grace of God I shall so deal with this knight, that within 2 hours after noon I shall deliver him. And then shall we come to the siege by daylight. O Jesu, marvel have I, said the Deimos, what manner of man ye be. For it may never be otherwise but that ye be come of a noble blood. For so foul nor shamefully did never woman rule a knight as I have done you, and ever courteously ye have suffered me, and that came never but of a gentle blood. Deimos, said Beaumains, a knight may little do that may not suffer a Deimos. For whatsoever ye said unto me I took none heed to your words. For the more ye said, the more ye angered me, and my wrath I wreak upon them that I had to do withal. And therefore all the missaying that ye missayed me furthered me in my battle, and caused me to think to show and prove myself at the end what I was. For peradventure, though I had meat in King Arthur's kitchen, yet I might have had meat enough in other places. But all that I did for to prove and assay my friends, and that shall be known another day. And whether that I be a gentleman born or none, I let you wit, fair Deimos, I have done you gentleman's service, and peradventure better service. Yet will I do, or I depart from you. Alas, she said, fair Beaumains, forgive me all that I have missayed or done against thee. With all my heart, said he, I forgive it you, for ye did nothing but as ye should do, for all your evil words pleased me. And damosel, said Beaumains, since it liketh you to say thus fair unto me, will ye well it gladdeth my heart greatly. And now meseemeth there is no knight living but I am able enough for him. And at the last, though him loath were, Beaumains smote Sir Person above upon the helm, that he fell grovelling to the earth, and then he leapt upon him overthwart, and unlaced his helm to have slain him. And so they went unto Sir Person's pavilion, and drank the wine, and ate spices, and afterward Sir Persant made him to rest upon a bed until supper time, and after supper to bed again. When Beaumains was abed, Sir Person had a lady, a fair daughter of 18 years of age, and there he called her unto him, and charged her and commanded her upon his blessing to go unto the knight's bed, and lie down by his side, and make him no strange cheer, but good cheer, and take him in thine arms and kiss him. And look that this be done, I charge you, as ye will have my love and my good will. Alas, said Sir Beaumains, I were a shameful knight, and I would do your father any disworship. And so he kissed her, and so she departed and came unto Sir Persant her father, and told him all how she had sped. Truly, said Sir Person, whatsoever he be, he is come of a noble blood. And so we leave them there till in the morn. And so on the morn the damosel and Sir Beaumains heard mess and brake their fast, and so took their leave. Fair Deimos, said Person, whitherward are ye wayleading this night? So, she said, this night is going to the siege that besiegeth my sister in the castle dangerous. Ah, said Person, that is a knight of the Red Lawn, the which is the most perilous knight that I know now living, and a man that is without mercy, and men say that he has 7 men's strength. God save you, said he to Beaumains, from that knight, for he doth great wrong to that lady, and that is great pity, for she is one of the fairest ladies of the world, and meseemeth that your damosel is a sister. Is not your name Linnet? Said he. Now, my lord Sir Persant of Inde, said the damosel Linnet, I require you that ye will make this gentleman knight, or ever he fight with the Red Knight. I will with all my heart, said Sir Person, and it please him to take the order of knighthood of so simple a man as I am. Sir, said Beaumains, I thank you for your goodwill, for I am better sped, for certainly the noble knight Sir Lancelot made me knight. Ah, said Sir Persant, of a more renowned knight might ye not be made knight, for of all knights he may be called chief of knighthood, and so all the world saith, that betwixt 3 knights is departed clearly knighthood, that is Lancelot du Lake, Sir Tristram de Lions, and Sir Lamorak de Galles. These bear now the renown. There be many other knights, as Sir Palomides the Saracen and Sir Sophia his brother, also Sir Bleoberis and Sir Blamore de Gannis his brother, also Sir Bors de Gannis and Sir Ector de Maris and Sir Perceval de Galles. These and many more be noble knights, but there be none that pass the 3 above said. Therefore God speed you well, said Sir Persant, for when ye may match the Red Knight ye shall be called the 4th of the world. Sir, said Beaumains, I would fain be of good fame and of knighthood, And I let you wit I came of good men, for I dare say my father was a noble man, and so that ye will keep it in close. And this damosel, I will tell you of what kin I am. We will not discover you, said they both, till ye command us, by the faith we owe unto God. Truly then, said he, my name is Gareth of Orkney, and King Lot was my father, and my mother is King Arthur's sister. Her name is Dame Morgause, and Sir Gawain is my brother, and Sir Agravain and Sir Gaheris, and I am the youngest of them all. And yet what not King Arthur nor Sir Gawain what I am. So the book saith that the lady that was besieged had word of her sister's coming by the dwarf, and a knight with her, and how he had passed all the perilous passages. What manner of man is he? Said the lady. He is a noble knight, truly. Madam, said the dwarf, and but a young man, but he is as likely a man as ever ye saw any. What is he? Said the damosel, and of what kin is he come? And of whom was he made knight? Madam, said the dwarf, he is the king's son of Orkney, but his name I will not tell you as at this time. But wit ye well, of Sir Lancelot was he made knight, for of none other would he be made knight, and Sir Kay named him Beaumains. How escaped he? Said the lady, from the brethren of Passant. Madam, he said, as a noble knight should. First, he slew 2 brethren at a passage of a water. Ah, said she, they were good knights, but they were murderers. The one hight Gerard le Bruce, and the other knight hight Sir Arnold le Bruce. Then, madam, he recounted with the Black Knight, and slew him in plain battle. And so he took his horse and his armour, and fought with the Green Knight, and won him in plain battle. And in like wise he served the Red Knight, and after in the same wise he served the Blue Knight, and won him in plain battle. Then, said the lady, he hath overcome Sir Passant of Indy, one of the noblest knights of the world. And the dwarf said, he hath won all the 4 brethren and slain the Black Knight, and yet he did more to 4. He overthrew Sir Kay and left him nigh dead upon the ground. Also he did a great battle with Sir Lancelot, and there they departed on even hands. And then Sir Lancelot made him knight. Dwarf, said the lady, I am glad of these tidings. Therefore go thou in an hermitage of mine hereby, and there shalt thou bear with thee of my wine in 2 flagons of silver. They are of 2 gallons, and also 2 casks of bread with fat venison baked, and dainty fowls. And a cup of gold here I deliver thee, that is rich and precious. And bear all this to mine hermitage, and put it in the hermit's hands. And sit hen go thou unto my sister, and greet her well, and commend me unto that gentle knight, and pray him to eat and to drink, and make him strong. And say ye him I thank him of his courtesy and goodness, that he would take upon him such labour for me that never did him bounty nor courtesy. Also pray him that he be of good heart and courage, for he shall meet with a full noble knight. But he is neither of bounty, courtesy, nor gentleness, for he attendeth unto nothing but to murder, and that is the cause I cannot praise him nor love him. So this dwarf departed, and came to Sir Passant, where he found the damosel Linet and Sir Beaumains, and there he told them all as ye have heard, and then they took their leave. But Sir Passant took an ambling hackney, and conveyed them on their ways, and then beleft them to God. And so within a little while they came to that hermitage, and there they drank the wine, and ate the venison and the fowl's bacon. And so when they had repasted them well, the dwarf returned again with his vessel unto the castle again. And there met with him the Red Knight of the Red Lawns, and asked him from whence that he came, and where he had been. Sir, said the dwarf, I have been with my lady sister of this castle, and she had been at King Arthur's court, and brought a knight with her. Then I account her travail but lost, for though she had brought with her Sir Lancelot, Sir Tristram, Sir Lamorak, or Sir Gawain, I would think myself good enough for them all. It may well be, said the dwarf, but this knight hath passed all the perilous passages, and slain the Black Knight and other 2 more, and won the Green Knight, the Red Knight, and the Blue Knight. Then is he one of these, for that I have afore rehearsed. He is none of those, said the dwarf, but he is a king's son. What is his name? Said the Red Knight of the Red Lawns. That will I not tell you, said the dwarf, but Sir Kay upon scorn named him Beaumains. I care not, said the knight, what knight soever he be, for I shall soon deliver him. And if I ever match him, he shall have a shameful death as many other have had. That were pity, said the dwarf, and it is marvel that ye make such shameful war upon noble knights. Chapter 15. How the damosel and Beaumains came to the siege, and came to a sycamore tree, and their bowmains blew a horn, and then the knight of the red lawns came to fight with him. Now leave with the knight and the dwarf, and speak we of bowmains, that all night lay in the hermitage, and upon the morn he and the damosel Linet heard their mess and brake their faust. And then they took their horses and rode throughout a fair forest, and then they came to a plain, and saw where were many pavilions and tents, and a fair castle, and there was much smoke and great noise. And when they came near the siege, Sir Beaumains espied upon great trees, as he rode, how there hung full goodly armed knights by the neck, and their shields about their necks with their swords, and gilt spurs upon their heels. And so there hung nigh 40 knights shamefully with full rich arms. Then Sir Beaumains abated his countenance and said, What meaneth this? Fair sir, said the damosel, abate not your cheer for all this sight, for ye must courage yourself, or else ye be all shent. For all these knights came hither to the siege to rescue my sister Dame Lioness, and when the Red Knight of the Red Lawns had overcome them, he put them to this shameful death without mercy and pity. And in the same wise he will serve you, but if you quit you the better. Now Jesu defend me, said Beaumains, from such a villainous death and shenship of arms. For rather than I should so be fair and withal, I would rather be slain manly in plain battle. So ye better, said the damosel, for trust not, in him is no courtesy, but all girth to the death or shameful murder, and that is pity, for he is a full likely man, well made of body, and a full noble knight of prowess, and a lord of great lands and possessions. Truly, said Beaumains, he may well be a good knight, but he useth shameful customs, and it is marvel that he endureth so long that none of the noble knights of my lord Arthur's have not dealt with him. And then they rode to the dykes, and saw them double dyked with full warlike walls, and there were lodged many great lords nigh the walls, and there was great noise of minstrelsy, and the sea beat upon the one side of the walls, where were many ships and mariners noised with hail and howl. And also there was fast by a sycamore tree, and there hung an horn, the greatest that ever they saw, of an elephant's bone, and this knight of the Red Lawns had hanged it up there, that if there came any errant knight, he must blow that horn, and then will he make him ready and come to him to do battle. But, so, I pray you, said the damosel Linet, blow ye not the horn till it be high noon, for now it is about prime, and now increaseth his might, that as men say he has 7 men's strength. Aye, fie for shame, fair damosel, say ye never so more to me, for, an he were as good a knight as ever was, I shall never fail him in his most might, for either I will win worship worshipfully, or die knightly in the field. And therewith he spurred his horse straight to the sycamore tree, and blew so the horn eagerly that all the siege and the castle rang thereof. And then there leapt out knights out of their tents and pavilions, and they within the castle looked over the walls and out at windows. Then the Red Knight of the Red Lawns armed him hastily, and 2 barons set on his spurs upon his heels, and all was blood red, his armour, spear, and shield. And an earl buckled his helm upon his head. And then they brought him a red spear and a red steed, and so he rode into a little vale under the castle, that all that were in the castle and at the siege might behold the battle. Chapter 16. How the 2 knights met together, and of their talking, and how they began their battle. Sir, said the damosel Linet unto Sir Beaumains, look ye be glad and light, for yonder is your deadly enemy, and at yonder window is my lady, my sister, Dame Lioness. Where? Said Beaumains. Yonder, said the damosel, and pointed with a finger. That is truth, said Beaumains. She beseemeth afar the fairest lady that ever I look upon. And truly, he said, I ask no better quarrel than now for to do battle, for truly she shall be my lady, and for her I will fight. And ever he looked up to the window with glad countenance, and the lady Lioness made curtsy to him down to the earth, with holding up both their hands. With that the Red Knight of the Red Lawns called to Sir Beaumains, Leave, Sir Knight, thy looking, and behold me, I counsel thee, for I warn thee well she is my lady, and for her I have done many strong battles. If thou have so done, said Beaumains, meseemeth it was but waste labour, for she loveth none of thy fellowship, and thou to love that loveth not thee is but great folly. For when I understood that you were not glad of my coming, I would be advised, or I did battle for her. But I understand by the besieging of this castle she may forbear thy fellowship. And therefore wit thou well, thou Red Knight of the Red Lawns, I love her, and will rescue her, or else to die. Say'st thou that? Said the Red Knight. Meseemeth thou ought of reason to beware by yonder knights that thou sawest hang upon yonder trees. Fie for shame, said Beaumains, that ever thou shouldest say or do so evil, for in that thou shamest thyself in knighthood, and thou mayst be sure there will no lady love thee that knoweth thy wicked customs. And now thou weenest that the sight of these hanged knights should fear me. Nay, truly, not so, that shameful sight causeth me to have courage and hardiness against thee, more than I would have had against thee, and thou wert a well-ruled knight. Make thee ready, said the Red Knight of the Red Lawns, and talk no longer with me. Then Sir Beaumains bade the damosel go from him. And then they put their spears in their rests, and came together with all their might that they had both, and either smote other in midst of their shields of the patrels, surcingles, and cruppers brast, and fell to the earth both, and the reins of their bridles in their hands. And so they lay a great while so astonied, that all that were in the castle and in the siege weened their necks had been broken. And then many a stranger and other said the strange knight was a big man, and a noble jouster, for now we saw never no knight match the Red Knight of the Red Lawns. Thus they said, both within the castle and without. Then lightly they avoided their horses and put their shields afore them, and drew their swords and ran together like two fierce lions, and either gave other such buffet upon their helms that they reeled backward both 2 strides. And then they recovered both, and hewed great pieces off their harness and their shields, that a great part fell into the fields. Chapter 17. How after long fighting Beaumains overcame the knight and would have slain him, but at the request of the lords he saved his life, and made him to yield him to the lady. And then thus they fought till it was past noon, and never would stint, till the last they lacked wind both, and then they stood wagging and scattering, panting, blowing and bleeding, that all that beheld them for the most part wept for pity. So when they had rested them a while, they yetted to battle again, tracing, racing, foining as 2 bulls. And at some time they took their run as it had been 2 rams, and hurtled together that sometime they fell grovelling to the earth, and at some time they were so amazed that either took other's sword instead of his own. Thus they endured till evensong time, that there was none that beheld them might know whether was like to win the battle, and their armour was so forhewn that men might see their naked sides, and in other places they were naked, but ever the naked places they did defend. And the Red Knight was a wily knight of war, and his wily fighting taught Sir Beaumains to be wise. But he abhorred it full sore, he did espy his fighting. And thus by assent of them both they granted either other to rest, and so they set them down upon 2 molehills that beside the fighting place, and either of them unlaced his helm, and took the cold wind. For either of their pages was fast by them, to come when they called to unlace their harness, and to set them on again at their commandment. And then when Sir Beaumains' helm was off, he looked up to the window, and there he saw the fair lady Dame Lioness, and she made him such countenance that his heart waxed light and jolly. And therewith he bade the Red Knight of the Red Lawns make him ready, and let us do the battle to the utterance. I will well, said the knight, and then they laced up their helms, and their pages avoided, and they stepped together and fought freshly. But the Red Knight of the Red Lawns awaited him, and at an overthwart smote him within the hand, that his sword fell out of his hand. And yet he gave him another buffet upon the helm, that he fell grovelling to the earth, and the Red Knight fell over him, for to hold him down. Then cried the maiden Linnet on high, O Sir Beaumains, where is thy courage become? Alas, my lady my sister beholdeth thee, and she sobbeth and weepeth, that maketh mine heart heavy. When Sir Beaumains heard her say so, he abrayed up with a great might and get him upon his feet, and lightly he leapt to his sword and gripped it in his hand, and doubled his pace unto the Red Knight, and there they fought a new battle together. But Sir Beaumains then doubled his strokes, and smote so thick that he smote the sword out of his hand, and then he smote him upon the helm that he fell to the earth, and Sir Beaumains fell upon him, and unlaced his helm to have slain him, and then he yielded him and asked mercy, and said with a loud voice, O noble knight, I yield me to thy mercy. Then Sir Beaumains bethought him upon the knights that he had made to be hanged shamefully, and then he said, I may not with my worship save thy life, for the shameful deaths that thou hast caused many full good knights to die. Sir, said the Red Knight of the Red Lawns, hold your hand, and ye shall know the causes why I put them to so shameful a death. Say on, said Sir Beaumains. Sir, I loved once a lady, a fair damosel, and she had her brother slain, and she said it was a Lancelot du Lake, or else a Gawain. And she prayed me as that I love her heartily, that I would make her a promise by the faith of my knighthood, for to labour daily in arms until I met with one of them, and all that I might overcome I should put them unto a villainous death. And this is the cause that I have put all these knights to death. And so I ensured her to do all the villainy unto King Arthur's knights, and that I should take vengeance upon all these knights. And so now I will thee tell that every day my strength increaseth till noon, and all this time have I 7 men's strength. Chapter 18. How the knight yielded him, and how Beaumains made him to go unto King Arthur's court, and to cry Sir Lancelot mercy. Then came there many earls, and barons, and noble knights, and prayed that knight to save his life, and take him to your prisoner. And all they fell upon their knees, and prayed him of mercy, and that he would save his life. And, Sir, they all said, it were fairer of him to take homage and fealty, and let him hold his lands of you than for to slay him. By his death ye shall have none advantage, and his misdeeds that be done may not be undone, and therefore ye shall make amends to all parties, and we all will become your men and do you homage and fealty. Fair lords, said Beaumains, wit you well I am full loath to slay this knight. Nevertheless he had done passing ill and shamefully, but insomuch all that he did was at a lady's request I blame him the less. And so for your sake I will release him, that he shall have his life upon this covenant, that he go within the castle, and yield him there to the lady, and if she will forgive and quit him, I will well. With this he make her amends of all the trespass he hath done against her and her lands. And also, when that is done, that ye go unto the court of King Arthur, and there that ye ask Sir Lancelot mercy, and Sir Gawain, for the evil will ye have had against them. Sir, said the Red Knight of the Red Lawns, all this will I do as ye command, and sicker assurance and borrows ye shall have. And so then when the assurance was made, he made his homage and fealty, and all those earls and barons with him. I suppose I do so, said Lancelot, or else I would not have given him the order of knighthood. But he gave me such charge at that time that I should never discover him until he required me, or else it be known openly by some other. Now turn we unto Sir Beaumains, that desired of Linet that he might see his sister, his lady. Sir, she said, I would fain ye saw her. Then Sir Beaumains all armed him, and took his horse and his spear, and rode straight unto the castle. And when he came to the gate, he found there many men armed, and pulled up the drawbridge and drew the port close. And then it happened him to come to a poor man's house, and there he was harboured all that night. But Sir Beaumains had no rest, but wallowed and writhed for the love of the lady of the castle. And so upon the morrow he took his horse and rode until London, and then he came to a broad water, and thereby was a great lodge, and there he alighted to sleep, and laid his head upon the shield, and betook his horse to the dwarf, and commanded him to watch all night. And so he rode all the other day and the night till that he found Sir Beaumains lying by a water, and his head upon his shield, for to sleep. And then when he saw Sir Beaumains fast asleep, he came stilly stalking behind the dwarf, and plucked him fast under his arm, and so he rode away with him as fast as ever he might unto his own castle. And this Sir Gringamore's arms were all black, and that to him long geth. But ever as he rode with the dwarf toward his castle, he cried unto his lord and prayed him of help. And therewith awoke Sir Beaumains, and up he leapt lightly, and saw where Sir Gringamore rode his way with the dwarf, and so Sir Gringamore rode out of his sight. Then Sir Beaumains put on his helmet on, and buckled his shield, and took his horse, and rode after him all that ever he might ride through marshes, and fields, and great dales, that many times his horse had he plunged over the head in deep mires, for he knew not the way, but took the gainest way in that woodness, that many times he was like to perish. And at the last him happened to come to a fair green way, and there he met with a poor man of the country, whom he saluted and asked him whether he met not with a knight upon a black horse and all black harness, a little dwarf sitting behind him with heavy cheer. Sir, said the poor man, here by me came Sir Gringamore the knight, with such a dwarf mourning as ye say, and therefore I rede you not follow him, for he is one of the perilous knights of the world, and his castle is here nigh hand but 2 mile. Therefore we advise you ride not after Sir Gringamore, but if ye owe him good will. So leave we Sir Beaumains riding toward the castle, and speak we of Sir Gringamore and the dwarf. Anon as the dwarf was come to the castle, Dame Lioness and Dame Linnet her sister asked the dwarf where was his master born, and of what lineage he was come. And but if thou tell me, said Dame Lioness, thou shalt never escape this castle, but ever here to be prisoner. "As for that," said the dwarf, "I fear not greatly to tell his name and of what kin he is come. Wit you well he is a king's son, and his mother is sister to King Arthur, and he is brother to the good knight Sir Gawain, and his name is Sir Gareth of Orkney. And now I have told you his right name, I pray you, fair lady, let me go to my lord again, for he will never out of this country until that he have me again. And if he be angry, he will do much harm, or that he be stint, and work you wrack in this country. As for that threatening," said Sir Gringamore, "be it as it be may, we will go to dinner." And so they washed and went to meat, and made them merry and well at ease. And because the Lady Lioness of the castle was there, they made great joy. "Truly, madam," said Linnet unto her sister, "well may be a king's son, for he hath many good tatches on him, for he is courteous and mild, and the most suffering man that ever I met withal. For I dare say there was never gentlewoman reviled man in so foul a manner as I have rebuked him, and at all times he gave me goodly and meek answers again." And as they sat thus talking, there came Sir Gareth into the gate with an angry countenance, and his sword drawn in his hand, and cried aloud that all the castle might hear it, saying, "Thou traitor, Sir Gringamore, deliver me my dwarf again, or by the faith that I owe to the order of knighthood, I shall do thee all the harm that I can." Then Sir Gringamore looked out at a window and said, "Sir Gareth of Orkney, leave thy boasting words, for thou gettest not thy dwarf again." "Thou coward knight," said Sir Gareth, "bring him with thee, and come and do battle with me, and win him and take him." "So will I do," said Sir Gringamore, a me list, "but for all thy great words thou gettest him not." And so Sir Gringamore took him by the hand, and led him into the hall where his own wife was. And then came forth Dame Lioness arrayed like a princess, and there she made him passing good cheer, and he her again, and they had goodly language and lovely countenance together. And Sir Gareth thought many times, Jesu, would that the lady of the Castle Perilous was so fair as she was. There were all manner of games and plays, of dancing and singing, and ever the more Sir Gareth beheld that lady, the more he loved her, and so he burned in love that he was past himself in his reason, and forth toward night they eat unto supper, and Sir Gareth might not eat, for his love was so hot that he wist not where he was. Right so Sir Gringamore went unto Sir Gareth, and said, "Sir, make ye good cheer, for ye shall have none other cause, for this lady, my sister, is yours at all times, her worship saved, for which ye well she loveth you as well as ye do her, and better if better may be. And I wist that," said Sir Gareth, "there lived not a gladder man than I would be." "Upon my worship," said Sir Gringamore, "trust unto my promise, and as long as it liketh you ye shall sojourn with me, and this lady shall be with us daily and nightly to make you all the cheer that she can." "I will well," said Sir Gareth, "for I have promised to be nigh this country this 12-month. And well I am sure King Arthur and other noble knights will find me where that I am within this 12-month, for I shall be sought and found, if that I be alive." And then the noble knight Sir Gareth went unto the Dame Lioness, which he then much loved, and kissed her many times, and either made great joy of other. And there she promised him her love certainly, to love him and none other the days of her life. Then this lady, Dame Lionesse, by the assent of her brother, told Sir Gareth all the truth what she was, and how she was the same lady that he did battle for, and how she was lady of the Castle Perilous, and there she told him how she caused her brother to take away his dwarf. "For this cause, to know the certainty what was your name, and of what kin ye were come." This counsel was not so privily kept, but it was understood, for they were but young both, and tender of age, and had not used none such crafts tofore. Wherefore the Damos Lionesse was a little displeased, and she thought her sister Dame Lionesse was a little over-hasty, that she might not abide the time of her marriage, and for saving their worship, she thought to abate their hot lusts, and so she let ordain by a subtle craft, so they had not their intents neither with other, as in their delights, until they were married. And so it passed on, at after supper was made clean avoidance, that every lord and lady should go unto his rest. And when the knight saw Sir Gareth come so fiercely upon him, he smote him with a foin through the thick of the thigh, that the wound was a shaft mon broad, and had cut too many veins and sinews. And therewithal Sir Gareth smote him upon the helm such a buffet that he fell grovelling, and then he leapt over him and unlaced his helm, and smote off his head from the body. And then he bled so fast that he might not stand. But so he laid him down upon his bed, and there he swooned and lay as he had been dead. Then Dame Lioness cried aloud, that a brother Sir Gringamore heard, and came down. And when he saw Sir Gareth so shamefully wounded, he was so displeased, and said, I am shamed that this noble knight is thus honoured. Sir, said Sir Gringamore, how may this be, that ye be here, and this noble knight wounded? Brother, she said, I cannot tell you, for it was not done by me, nor by mine assent. For he is my lord, and I am his, and he must be mine husband. Therefore, my brother, I will that ye would I shame me not to be with him, nor to do him all the pleasure that I can. Sister, said Sir Gringamore, and I will that ye wit it, and Sir Gareth both, that it was never done by me, nor by my assent that this unhappy deed was done. And there they staunched his bleeding as well as they might, and great sorrow made Sir Gringamore and Dame Lionesse. And forthwithal came Dame Linet, and took up the head in the side of them all, and anointed it with an ointment thereas it was smitten off, and in the same wise she did to the other part thereas the head stuck, and then she set it together, and it stuck as fast as ever it did. And the knight arose lightly up, and the damosel Linet put him in her chamber. All this saw Sir Gringamore and Dame Lionesse, and so did Sir Gareth. And well he espied that it was a Damos Linet, that rode with him through the perilous passages. Ah well, Damos, said Sir Gareth, I weened ye would not have done as ye have done. Right as she promised she came. And she was not so soon in his bed, but she espied an armed knight coming toward the bed. Therewithal she warned Sir Gareth, and lightly through the good help of Dame Lioness he was armed, and they hurtled together with great ire and malice all about the hall. And there was great light as it had been the number of 20 torches both before and behind, so that Sir Gareth strained him, so that his old wound brass again a bleeding. But he was hot and courageous, and took no keep. But with his great force he struck down that knight, and voided his helm, and struck off his head. Then he hewed the head in 100 pieces. Right so came this damosel Linet before them all, and she had fetched all the goblets of the head that Sir Gareth had thrown out at a window, and there she anointed them as she had done tofore, and set them together again. Well, Damos Linet, said Sir Gareth, I have not deserved all this despite that ye do unto me. Sir Knight, she said, I have nothing done but I will avow, and all that I have done shall be to your worship, and to us all. And then was Sir Gareth stanched of his bleeding. But the leeches said that there was no man that bare the life should heal him throughout his wound, but if they healed him that caused that stroke by enchantment. So leave we Sir Gareth there with Sir Gringamore and his sisters, and turn we unto King Arthur, that the next feast of Pentecost held his feast. And there came the Green Knight with 50 knights, and yielded them all unto King Arthur. And so there came the Red Knight his brother, and yielded him to King Arthur, and 60 knights with him. Also there came the Blue Knight, brother to them, with 100 knights, and yielded them unto King Arthur. And the Green Knight's name was Pertolip, and the Red Knight's name was Paramones, and the Blue Knight's name was Sir Persant of Inde. These 3 brethren told King Arthur how they were overcome by a knight that a damosel had with her, and called him Beaumains. Jesu, said the king, I marvel what knight he is, and of what lineage he is come. He was with me a 12-month, and poorly and shamefully he was fostered, and Sir Kay in scorn named him Beaumains. So right as the king stood so talking with these 3 brethren, there came Sir Lancelot du Lake, and told the king that there was come a goodly lord with 600 knights with him. Then the king went out of Carlion, for there was the feast, and there came to him this lord, and saluted the king in a goodly manner. What will ye? Said King Arthur, and what is your errand? Sir, he said, my name is the Red Knight of the Red Lawns, but my name is Sir Ironside. And sir, wit ye well, here I am sent to you of a knight that is called Beaumains, for he won me in plain battle hand for hand, and so did never no knight but he, that ever had the better of me this 30 winter, the which commanded to yield me to you at your will. Ye are welcome, said the king, for ye have been long a great foe to me and my court, and now I trust to God I shall so entreat you that ye shall be my friend. Sir, as to that, I have promised unto Sir Beaumains never more to use such customs, for all the shameful customs that I used I did at the request of a lady that I loved, and therefore I must go unto Sir Lancelot, and unto Sir Gawain, and ask them forgiveness of the evil will I had unto them. For all I put to death was all only for the love of Sir Lancelot and of Sir Gawain. They be here now, said the king, afore thee. Now may ye say to them what ye will. And then he kneeled down unto Sir Lancelot and to Sir Gawain, and prayed them of forgiveness of his enmity that ever he had against them. Then goodly they said all at once, God forgive you, and we do, and pray you that you will tell us where we may find Sir Beaumains. Fair lords, said Sir Ironside, I cannot tell you, for it is full hard to find him. For such young knights as he is one, when they be in their adventures, be never abiding in no place. But to say the worship that the Red Knight of the Red Lawns, and Sir Persant, and his brother said of Beaumains, it was marvel to hear. Well, my fair lords, said King Arthur, will you well I shall do you honour for the love of Sir Beaumains, and as soon as ever I meet with him I shall make you all upon one day knights of the Table Round. And as to thee, Sir Persant of Inde, thou hast been ever called a full noble knight, and so have ever been thy three brethren called. But I marvel, said the king, that I hear not of the Black Knight your brother. He was a full noble knight. Sir, said Perdaleap, the Green Knight, Sir Beaumains slew him in a rencounter with his spear. His name was Sir Picard. That was great pity, said the king, and so said many knights. For these four brethren were full well known in the court of King Arthur for noble knights. For long time they had holden war against the knights of the Round Table. Then said Perdaleap, the Green Knight, to the king, at a passage of the water of Morte there encountered Sir Beaumains with two brethren that ever for the most part kept that passage, and they were two deadly knights. And they slew the eldest brother in the water, and smote him upon the head such a buffet that he fell down in the water, and there he was drowned, and his name was Sir Gerard le Bruce. And after he slew the other brother upon the land, his name was Sir Arnold le Bruce. So then the king and they went to meat, and were served in the best manner. And as they sat at the meat, there came in the Queen of Orkney, with ladies and knights a great number. And then Sir Gawain, Sir Agravain, and Gaheris arose, and went to her and saluted her upon their knees, and asked a blessing, for in 15 years they had not seen her. Then she spake on high to her brother King Arthur, Where have ye done my young son Sir Gareth? He was here amongst you a 12-month, and ye made a kitchen knave of him, the which is shame to you all. Alas, where have ye done my dear son that was my joy and bliss? O dear mother, said Sir Gawain, I knew him not. No I, said the king, that now me repenteth. But thank be God he is proved a worshipful knight as any is now living of his years, and I shall never be glad till I may find him. Ah, brother, said the queen unto King Arthur, and unto Sir Gawain, and to all his sons, ye did yourself great shame when ye amongst you kept my son in the kitchen and fed him like a poor hog. Fair sister, said King Arthur, ye shall right well what I knew him not, nor no more did Sir Gawain, nor his brethren. But sithen it is so, said the king, that he is thus gone from us all, we must shape a remedy to find him. Also, sister, meseemeth ye might have done me to wit of his coming, and then an I had not done well to him ye might have blamed me. For when he came to this court, he came leaning upon two men's shoulders, as though he might not have gone. And then he asked me 3 gifts, and one he asked the same day, that was that I would give him meat enough that 12-month, and the other 2 gifts he asked that day a 12-month, and that was that he might have the adventure of the damosel Linet, and the third was that Sir Lancelot should make him knight when he desired him. And so I granted him all his desire, and many in this court marveled that he desired his sustenance for a 12-month, and thereby we deemed, many of us, that he was not come of a noble house. Sir, said the Queen of Orkney unto King Arthur her brother, wit ye well that I send him unto you right well armed and horsed, and worshipfully be seen of his body, and gold and silver plenty to spend. It may be, said the king, but thereof saw we none. Save that same day as it departed from us, knights told me that there came a dwarf hither suddenly, and brought him armour and a good horse full well and richly beseen. And thereat we all had marvel from whence that riches came, that we deemed all that he was come of men of worship. Brother, said the queen, all that ye say I believe. For ever sithen he was grown he was marvellously witted, and ever he was faithful and true of his promise. But I marvel, said she, that Sir Kay did mock him and scorn him, and gave him that name Beaumains. Yet Sir Kay, said the queen, named him more righteously than he weened. For I dare say an he be alive, he is as fair-handed man and well disposed as any is living. Sir, said Arthur, Let this language be still, and by the grace of God he shall be found, and he be within the 7 realms. And let all this pass and be merry, for he is proved to be a man of worship, and that is my joy. Chapter 26. How King Arthur sent for the Lady Lioness, and how she let cry a tinny at her castle, whereas came many knights. Then said Sir Gawain and his brethren unto Arthur, Sir, an ye will give us leave, we will go and seek our brother. Nay, said Sir Lancelot, that shall ye not need. And so said Sir Baldwin of Britain, for as by our advice the king shall send unto Dame Lioness a messenger, and pray that she will come to the court in all the haste that she may, and doubt ye not she will come, and then she may give you best counsel where ye shall find him. This is well said of you, said the king. So then goodly letters were made, and the messenger sent forth, that night and day he went till he came unto the Castle Perilous. And then the Lady Dame Lioness was sent for. There is, she was with Sir Gringamore her brother and Sir Gareth. And when she understood this message, she bade him ride on his way unto King Arthur, and she would come after in all goodly haste. Then when she came to Sir Gringamore and to Sir Gareth, she told them all how King Arthur had sent for her. That is because of me, said Sir Gareth. Now advise me, said Dame Lioness, what shall I say, and in what manner I shall rule me? My lady and my love, said Sir Gareth, I pray you in no wise be eknown where I am, but well I wot my mother is there and all my brethren, and they will take upon them to seek me, I wot well that they do. But this, Madam, I would ye said and advise the king when he questioned with you of me. Then may ye say, this is your advice that, and it like his good grace, you will do make a cry against the feast of the Assumption of Our Lady, that what knight that proveth him best he shall wield you in all your land. And if so be that he be a wedded man, that his wife shall have a degree, and a coronal of gold beset with stones of virtue to the value of 1,000 pound, and a white gerfalcon. So Dame Lioness departed and came to King Arthur, where she was nobly received, and there she was all questioned of the king and of the queen of Orkney. And she answered, where Sir Gareth which she could not tell. But thus much she said unto Arthur, So, I will let cry a tournament that shall be done before my castle at the Assumption of Our Lady, and the cry shall be this, that you, my lord Arthur, shall be there, and your knights, and I will purvey that my knights shall be against yours, and then I am sure ye shall hear of Sir Gareth. This is well advised, said King Arthur, and so she departed, and the king and she made great provision to that tournament. When Dame Lioness was come to the Isle of Avilion, that was the same isle therein as her brother Sir Gringamore dwelt, then she told him all how she had done, and what promise she had made to King Arthur. Alas, said Sir Gareth, I have been so wounded with unhappiness sithen I came into this castle, that I shall not be able to do at that tournament like a knight, for I was never thoroughly whole since I was hurt. Be ye of good cheer, said the damosel Linet, for I undertake within these 15 days to make ye whole, and as lusty as ever ye were. And then she laid an ointment and a salve to him as it pleased to her, that he was never so fresh nor so lusty. Then said the damosel Linet, Send you unto Sir Pasan of Indy, and summon him and his knights to be here with you as they have promised. Also, that ye send unto Sir Ironside, that is the Red Knight of the Red Lawns, and charge him that he be ready with you with his whole sum of knights, and then shall ye be able to match with King Arthur and his knights. So this was done, and all knights were sent for unto the Castle Perilous. And then the Red Knight answered, and said unto Dame Lioness, and to Sir Gareth, Madam, and my lord Sir Gareth, ye shall understand that I have been at the court of King Arthur, and Sir Pasan of Indy and his brethren, and there we have done our homage as ye commanded us. And so all these noble knights accompanied them with the lady of the castle, and with the Red Knight of the Red Lawns. But as for Sir Gareth, he would not take upon him more but as other mean knights. And then there came with King Arthur Sir Gawain, Agravain, Gaheris, his brethren, and then his nephew Sir Uwaine le Blanchemains, and Sir Aglavale, Sir Tor, Sir Perceval de Gales, and Sir Lamorak de Gales. Then came Sir Lancelot du Lake with his brethren, nephews, and cousins, as Sir Lionel, Sir Ector de Maris, Sir Bors de Gonis, and Sir Galihodin, Sir Geliard, and many more of Sir Lancelot's blood, and Sir Dinadan, Sir La Cote Male Tail, his brother, a good knight, and Sir Segramor, a good knight, and all the most part of the Round Table. Also there came with King Arthur these knights, the King of Ireland, King Agwisance, and the King of Scotland, King Carados, and King Uriens of the land of Gaul, and King Bagdemagus and his son Sir Meliaginus, and Sir Galahad the noble prince. All these kings, princes, and earls, barons, and other noble knights, as Sir Brandiles, Sir Uwaine les Avaudes, and Sir Kay, Sir Bedivere, Sir Miliot de Logres, Sir Petipes of Winchelsea, Sir Goldlake. All these came with King Arthur, and more that cannot be rehearsed. Now leave we of these kings and knights, and let us speak of the great array that was made within the castle and about the castle for both parties. The Lady Dame Lioness ordained great array upon her part for her noble knights, for all manner of lodging and victual that came by land and by water, that there lacked nothing for her party, nor for the other, but there was plenty to be had for gold and silver for King Arthur and his knights. And then there came the harbingers from King Arthur for to harbour him, and his kings, dukes, earls, barons, and knights. And then Sir Gareth prayed Dame Lioness and the Red Knight of the Red Lawns, and Sir Persant and his brother, and Sir Gringamore, that in no wise there should none of them tell not his name, and make no more of him than of the least knight that there was. For, he said, I will not be known of neither more nor less, neither at the beginning, neither at the ending. Then Dame Lioness he said unto Sir Gareth, So, I will lend you a ring, but I would pray you as you love me heartily let me have it again when the tournament is done, for that ring increaseth my beauty much more than it is of himself. And the virtue of my ring is that is green it will turn to red, and that is red it will turn in likeness to grain, and that is blue it will turn to likeness of white, and that is white it will turn in likeness to blue, and so it will do of all manner of colours. Also who that beareth my ring shall lose no blood, and for great love I will give you this ring. Gramercy, said Sir Gareth, mine own lady, for this ring is passing meet for me, for it will turn all manner of likeness that I am in, and that shall cause me that I shall not be known. And Sir Arnold and Sir Gauder, knights of the castle, encountered with Sir Brandiles and Sir Kay, and these 4 knights encountered mightily, and brake their spears to their hands. Then came in Sir Tristram, Sir Sadoc, and Sir Dinas, knights of the castle, and there encountered Sir Tristram with Sir Bedivere, and there Sir Bedivere was smitten to the earth both horse and man. And Sir Sadoc encountered with Sir Petipes, and there Sir Sadoc was overthrown. And there Uwaine les Avaudes smote down Sir Dinas, the seneschal. Then came in Sir Persant of Inde, a knight of the castle, and there encountered with him Sir Lancelot du Lake, and there he smote Sir Persant, horse and man, to the earth. Then Sir Galahad gat a spear to avenge his brother, and in the same wise Sir Gareth served him. And Sir Dinadan and his brother, Larcote Mailtail, and Sir Sagramore the Desirous, and Sir Dinas le Savage, all these he bare down with one spear. And Bagdemagus' son, Meliganus, brake a spear upon Sir Gareth mightily and knightly. And then Sir Galahad, the noble prince, cried on high, Knight with the many colours, well hast thou jousted. Now make thee ready that I may joust with thee. Sir Gareth heard him, and he gat a great spear, and so they encountered together, and there the prince brake his spear. But Sir Gareth smote him upon the left side of the helm that he reeled here and there, and he had fallen down had not his men recovered him. So God me help, said King Arthur, that same knight with the many colours is a good knight. Wherefore the king called unto him Sir Lancelot, and prayed him to encounter with that knight. Sir, said Lancelot, I may well find in my heart for to forbear him as at this time, for he hath had travail enough this day. And when a good knight doth so well upon some day, it is no good knight's part to let him of his worship, and namely, when he see the knight hath done so great labour. For peradventure, said Sir Lancelot, his quarrel is here this day, and peradventure he is best beloved with this lady of all that be here. For I see well he pineth him and enforceth him to do great deeds. And therefore, said Sir Lancelot, as for me, this day he shall have the honour, though it lay in my power to put him from it I would not. Chapter 29. Yet of the said tournament. Then when this was done, there was drawing of swords, and then there began a sword tournament. And there did Sir Lamorak marvellous deeds of arms, and betwixt Sir Lamorak and Sir Ironside, there was the Red Knight of the Red Lawns, there was strong battle, and betwixt Sir Palomides and Bleoberis there was a strong battle, and Sir Gawain and Sir Tristram met. And there Sir Gawain had the worse, for he pulled Sir Gawain from his horse, and there he was long upon foot and defouled. Then came in Sir Lancelot, and he smote Sir Turquine, any him. And then came Sir Carados' brother, and both at once they assailed him, and he is the most noblest knight of the world worshipfully fought with them both, that all men wondered of the noblesse of Sir Lancelot. And then came in Sir Gareth, and knew that it was Sir Lancelot that fought with the two perilous knights. And then Sir Gareth came with his good horse, and hurtled them in sunder, and no stroke would he smite to Sir Lancelot, that espied Sir Lancelot, and deemed it should be the good knight Sir Gareth. And then Sir Gareth rode here and there, and smote on the right hand and on the left hand, and all the folk might well espy where that he rode. And by fortune he met with his brother Sir Gawain, and there he put Sir Gawain to the worse. For he put off his helm, and so he served 5 or 6 knights of the Round Table, that all men said he put him in the most pain, and best he did his devoir. For when Sir Tristram beheld him how he first jousted, and after fought so well with the sword, then he rode unto Sir Ironside and to Sir Persant of Inde, and asked them, by their faith, what manner a knight is yonder knight that seemeth in so many divers colours? Truly, meseemeth, said Tristram, that he putteth himself in great pain, for he never saith. Wot ye not what he is? Said Sir Ironside. No, said Sir Tristram. Then shall ye know that this is he that loveth the lady of the castle, and she him again. And this is he that won me when I besieged the lady of this castle, and this is he that won Sir Persant of Inde, and his 3 brethren. What is his name? Said Sir Tristram. And of what blood is he come? He was called in the court of King Arthur, Beaumains, but his right name is Sir Gareth of Orkney, brother to Sir Gawain. By my head, said Sir Tristram, he is a good knight, and a big man of arms, and if he be young he shall prove a full noble knight. He is but a child, they all said, and of Sir Lancelot he was made knight. Therefore he is mickle the better, said Tristram. And then Sir Tristram, Sir Ironside, Sir Persant, and his brother rode together for to help Sir Gareth, and then there were given many strong strokes. And then Sir Gareth rode out on the one side to mend his helm, and then said his dwarf, Take me your ring, that ye lose it not while that ye drink. And so when he had drunk he get on his helm, and eagerly took his horse and rode into the field, and left his ring with his dwarf. And the dwarf was glad the ring was from him, for then he wist well he should be known. And then when Sir Gareth was in the field, all folk saw him well and plainly that he was in yellow colours, and they raz off helms and pulled down knights, that King Arthur had marvel what knight he was, for the king saw by his hair that it was the same knight. But before he was in so many colours, and now he is but in one colour, that is yellow. Now go, said King Arthur unto divers heralds, and ride about him, and espy what manner knight he is, for I have speared of many knights this day that be upon his party, and all say they know him not. And so an herald rode nigh Gareth as he could, and there he saw written about his helm in gold, This helm is Sir Gareth of Orkney. Then the herald cried as he were wood, and many heralds with him, This is Sir Gareth of Orkney in the yellow arms, that by all kings and knights of Arthur's beheld him and awaited. And then they pressed all to behold him, and ever the heralds cried, This is Sir Gareth of Orkney, King Lot's son. And when Sir Gareth espied that he was discovered, then he doubled his strokes, and smote down Sir Sagramore and his brother Sir Gawain. O brother, said Sir Gawain, I weened ye would not have stricken me. So when he heard him say so, he thrang here and there, and so with great pain he get out of the press, and there he met with his dwarf. O boy, said Sir Gareth, thou hast beguiled me foul this day that thou kept my ring. Give it me anon again, that I may hide my body withal. And so he took it him. And then they all wist not where he was become. And Sir Gawain had in manner espied where Sir Gareth rode, and then he rode after with all his might, that espied Sir Gareth, and rode lightly into the forest, that Sir Gawain wist not where he was become. And when Sir Gareth wist that Sir Gawain was past, he asked the dwarf of best counsel. Sir, said the dwarf, meseemeth it were best, now that ye are escaped from spying, that ye send my lady dame Lioness her ring. It is well advised, said Sir Gareth. Now have it here, and bear it to her, and say that I recommend me unto her good grace, and say her I will come when I may, and I pray her to be true and faithful to me as I will be to her. Sir, said the dwarf, it shall be done as ye command. And so he rode his way, and did his errand unto the lady. Then she said, Where is my knight, Sir Gareth? Madam, said the dwarf. "He bade me say that he would not be long from you." And so lightly the dwarf came again unto Sir Gareth, that would full fain have had a lodging, for he had need to be reposed. And then fell there a thunder and a rain, as heaven and earth should go together. And Sir Gareth was not a little weary, for of all that day he had but little rest, neither his horse nor he. So this Sir Gareth rode so long in that forest until the night came, and ever it lightened and thundered, as it had been wood. At the last by fortune he came to a castle, and there he heard the weights upon the walls. Then Sir Gareth rode unto the barbican of the castle, and prayed the porter fair to let him into the castle. The porter answered ungoodly again, and said, "Thou gettest no lodging here." "Fay so, say not so, for I am a knight of King Arthur's, and pray the lord or the lady of this castle to give me harbour for the love of King Arthur." Then the porter went unto the duchess, and told her how there was a knight of King Arthur's would have harbour. "Let him in," said the duchess, "for I will see that knight, and for King Arthur's sake he shall not be harbourless." Then she yode up into a tower over the gate, with great torchlight. When Sir Gareth saw that torchlight, he cried on high, "Whether thou be lord or lady, giant or champion, I take no force so that I may have harbour this night, and if it so be that I must needs fight, spare me not to mourn when I have rested me, for both I and mine horse be weary." "Sir knight," said the lady, "thou speakest knightly and boldly, but wit thou well the lord of this castle loveth not King Arthur, nor none of his court, for my lord hath ever been against him, and therefore thou wert better not to come within this castle. For when thou come in this night, thou must come in under such form, that wheresoever thou meet my lord, by sty or by street, thou must yield thee to him as prisoner." "Madam," said Sir Gareth, "what is your lord, and what is his name?" "Sir, my lord's name is the Duke de la Rose." "Well, madam," said Sir Gareth, "I shall promise you in what place I meet your lord I shall yield me unto him and to his good grace, with that I understand he will do me no harm. And if I understand that he will, I will release myself and ike with my spear and my sword." "Ye say well," said the duchess. And then she let the drawbridge down, and so he rode into the hall, and there he alighted, and his horse was led into a stable. And in the hall he unarmed him and said, "Madam, I will not out of this hall this night, and when it is daylight, let's see who will have ado with me. He shall find me ready." Then was he set unto supper, and had many good dishes. Then Sir Gareth list well to eat, and nightly he ate his meat, and eagerly. There was many a fair lady by him, and some said they never saw a goodlier man nor so well of eating. Then they made him passing good cheer, and shortly when he had supped his bed was made there. So he rested him all night. And on the morn he heard mass, and brake his fast, and took his leave of the duchess, and at them all, and thanked her goodly of her lodging, and of his good cheer. And then she asked him his name. "Madam," he said, "truly my name is Gareth of Orkney, and some men call me Beaumains." Then knew she well it was the same knight that fought for Dame Lioness. So Sir Gareth departed and rode up into a mountain, and there met him a knight. His name was Sir Bendelaine, and said to Sir Gareth, "Thou shalt not pass this way, for either thou shalt joust with me, or else be my prisoner." "Then will I joust," said Sir Gareth. And so they let their horses run, and there Sir Gareth smote him throughout the body, and Sir Bendelaine rode forth to his castle there beside, and there died. So Sir Gareth would have rested him, and he came riding to Bendelaine's castle. Then his knights and servants espied that it was he that had slain their lord. Then they armed 20 good men, and came out and assailed Sir Gareth, and so he had no spear, but his sword, and put his shield afore him, and there they brake their spears upon him, and they assailed him passingly sore. But ever Sir Gareth defended him as a knight. Chapter 32. How Sir Gareth fought with a knight that held within his castle 30 ladies, and how he slew him. So when they saw that they might not overcome him, they rode from him, and took their counsel to slay his horse. And so they came in upon Sir Gareth, and with spears they slew his horse, and then they assailed him hard. But when he was on foot, there was none that he fought but he gave him such a buffet that he did never recover. So he slew them by one and one till they were but 4, and there they fled. And Sir Gareth took a good horse that was one of theirs, and rode his way. Then he rode a great pace till that he came to a castle, and there he heard much mourning of ladies and gentlewomen. So there came by him a page. "What noise is this," said Sir Gareth, "that I hear within this castle?" "Sir knight," said the page. Here be within this castle 30 ladies, and all they be widows. For here is a knight that waiteth daily upon this castle, and his name is the Brown Knight without pity, and he is a perilous knight that now liveth. And therefore, sir, said the page, I rede you flee. Nay, said Sir Gareth, I will not flee though thou be afeard of him. And then the page saw where came the Brown Knight. Lo, said the page, yonder he cometh. Let me deal with him, said Sir Gareth. And when either of other had a sight, they let their horses run. And the Brown Knight brake his spear, and Sir Gareth smote him throughout the body, that he overthrew him to the ground stark dead. So Sir Gareth rode into the castle, and prayed the ladies that he might repose him. Alas, said the ladies, ye may not be lodged here. Make him good cheer, said the page, for this knight hath slain your enemy. Then they all made him good cheer as lay in their power. But wit ye well they made him good cheer, for they might none otherwise do, for they were but poor. And so on the morn he went to mass, and there he saw the 30 ladies kneel, and lay grovelling upon divers tombs, making great dole and sorrow. Then Sir Gareth wist well that in the tombs lay their lords. Fair ladies, said Sir Gareth, ye must at the next feast of Pentecost be at the court of King Arthur, and say that I, Sir Gareth, sent you thither. We shall do this, said the ladies. So he departed, and by fortune he came to a mountain, and there he found a goodly knight that bade him, Abide, Sir Knight, and joust with me. What are ye? Said Sir Gareth. My name is, said he, the Duke de la Rose. Ah, so, ye are the same knight that I lodged once in your castle, and there I made promise unto your lady that I should yield me unto you. It shall be done, said the Duke, and I will do to you homage and fealty within 100 knights with me, and all the days of my life to do you service where ye will command me. So the Duke departed, and Sir Gareth stood there alone, and there he saw an armed knight coming toward him. Then Sir Gareth took the Duke's shield, and mounted upon horseback, and so without biting they ran together as it had been the thunder. And there that knight hurt Sir Gareth under the side with his spear. And then they alighted and drew their swords, and gave great strokes that the blood trailed to the ground. And so they fought 2 hours. At the last there came the damosel Linnet, that some men called the damosel Savage, and she came riding upon an ambling mule. And there she cried all on high, Sir Gawain, leave thy fighting with thy brother Sir Gareth. And when he heard her say, so he threw away his shield and his sword, and ran to Sir Gareth, and took him in his arms, and sit him kneeled down and asked him mercy. What are ye, said Sir Gareth, that right now was so strong and so mighty, and now so suddenly yield you to me? O Gareth, I am your brother Sir Gawain, that for your sake have had great sorrow and labour. Then Sir Gareth unlaced his helm, and kneeled down to him, and asked him mercy. Then they rose both, and embraced either other in their arms, and wept a great while they might speak, and either of them gave other the prize of the battle. And there were many kind words between them. Alas, my fair brother, said Sir Gawain, pardie I owe of right to worship you, and you were not my brother. For ye have worshipped King Arthur and all his court. For ye have sent me more worshipful knights this 12-month than 6 the best of the Round Table have done, except Sir Lancelot. And when he was upon his back, he bade the lords and ladies come after, who that would. And there was saddling and bridling of queens' horses and princes' horses, and well was him that soonest might be ready. Then said King Arthur unto the damosel Savage, I marvel that your sister, Dame Lioness, cometh not here to me, and in especial that she cometh not to visit her knight, my nephew Sir Gareth, that had so much travail for her love. My lord, said the damosel Linnet, ye must of your good grace hold her excused, for she knoweth not that my lord, Sir Gareth, is here. Go then for her, said King Arthur, that we may be appointed what is best to be done, according to the pleasure of my nephew. Sir, said the damosel, that shall be done. And so she rode unto her sister, and as lightly as she might she made her ready. And she came on the morn with her brother Sir Gringamore, and with her 40 knights. And so when she was come she had all the cheer that might be done, both of the king, and of many other kings and queens. Then there was made a provision for the day of marriage, and by the king's advice it was provided that it should be at Michaelmas following, at King Kenadon by the seaside, for there is a plentiful country. And so it was cried in all the places through the realm. And then Sir Gareth sent his summons to all these knights and ladies that he had won in battle to fall, that they should be at his day of marriage at King Kenadon by the sands. And then Dame Lioness and the damosel Linnet with Sir Gringamore rode to their castle, and a goodly and a rich ring she gave to Sir Gareth, and he gave her another. And King Arthur gave her a rich pair of gold, and so she departed. And King Arthur and his fellowship rode toward King Kenadon, and Sir Gareth brought his lady on the way, and so came to the king again and rode with him. Lord, the great cheer that Sir Lancelot made of Sir Gareth and he of him, for there was never no knight that Sir Gareth loved so well as he did Sir Lancelot, and ever for the most part he would be in Sir Lancelot's company. For after Sir Gareth had espied Sir Gawain's conditions, he withdrew himself from his brother, Sir Gawain's, fellowship, for he was vengeable, and where he hated he would be avenged with murder, and that hated Sir Gareth. Chapter 35 of the great royalty, and what offices were made at the feast of the wedding, and of the jousts at the feast. So it drew fast to Michaelmas, and thither came Dame Lionesse, the lady of the Castle Perilous, and her sister Dame Linet, with Sir Gringamore, her brother, with them, for he had the conduct of these ladies. And there they were lodged at the device of King Arthur. And upon Michaelmas Day the Bishop of Canterbury made the wedding betwixt Sir Gareth and the Lady Lioness with great solemnity. And King Arthur made Gaheris to wed the damosel Savage, that was Dame Linnet. And King Arthur made Sir Agravaine to wed Dame Lioness' niece, a fair lady, her name was Dame Laurel. Then came in Sir Person of Inde, with 100 knights with him, and there he did homage and fealty, and all his knights should do him service, and hold their lands of him for ever. And there he prayed Sir Gareth to make him his surchief at the feast. I will well, said Sir Gareth, that ye have it, and it were better. Then came the Duke de la Rose with 100 knights with him, and there he did homage and fealty to Sir Gareth, and so to hold their lands of him for ever. And he required Sir Gareth that he might serve him of the wine that day of that feast. I will well, said Sir Gareth, and it were better. Then came in the Red Knight of the Red Lawns, that was Sir Ironside, and he brought with him 300 knights, and they did homage and fealty, and all these knights to hold their lands of him for ever. And then he asked Sir Gareth to be his carver. I will well, said Sir Gareth, and it please you. Then came into the court 30 ladies, and all they seemed widows, and those 30 ladies brought with them many fair gentlewomen. And all they kneeled down at once unto King Arthur and unto Sir Gareth, and there all those ladies told the king how Sir Gareth delivered them from the Dolorous Tower, and slew the Brown Knight without pity. And therefore we, and our aid for evermore, will do homage unto Sir Gareth of Orkney. So then the kings and queens, princes and earls, barons and many bold knights, went unto meat. And well may ye with there were all manner of meat plenteously, all manner revels and games, with all manner of minstrelsy that was used in those days. Also there was great joust 3 days. But the king would not suffer Sir Gareth to joust, because of his new bride. For, as the French book saith, that Dame Lioness desired of the king that none that were wedded should joust at that feast. So the first day there jousted Sir Lamorak de Gales, for he overthrew 30 knights, and did passing marvellously deeds of arms. And then King Arthur made Sir Person and his 2 brethren knights of the Round Table to their lives' end, and gave them great lands. Also the second day there jousted Tristram best, and he overthrew 40 knights, and did their marvellous deeds of arms. And there King Arthur made Ironside, that was the Red Knight of the Red Lawns, a knight of the Table Round to his life's end, and gave him great lands. The third day there jousted Sir Lancelot du Lake, and he overthrew 50 knights, and did many marvellous deeds of arms, that all men wondered on him. And there King Arthur made the Duke de la Rose a knight of the Round Table to his life's end, and gave him great lands to spend. But when these jousts were done, Sir Lamorak and Sir Tristram departed suddenly, and would not be known, for the which King Arthur and all the court were sore displeased. And so they held the court 40 days with great solemnity. And this Sir Gareth was a noble knight, and a well-ruled and fair-languaged. Thus in death this tale of Sir Gareth of Orkney that wedded Dame Lionesse of the Castle Perilous. And also Sir Gaheris wedded her sister, Dame Linet, that was called the Damosel Savage. And Sir Agravaine wedded Dame Laurel, a fair lady and great, and mighty lands with great riches gave with them King Arthur, that royally they might live till their lives' end.